I'll just ask you to start with the basics, but obviously there is a public perception about melatonin because of how the product, the melatonin supplement product out there is marketed and how people use it. The perception that people have is that melatonin is basically sedative, that melatonin will make you sleep. And so I want to talk about what's true or not true about that. But let's just start with the basics here. What is melatonin, and what is it doing naturally, and what's its natural rhythm in the brain and the body?
Yeah, so melatonin is a hormone. It's made by your pineal gland, and it's mainly synthesized and released at night in the dark. So it requires two factors: time, meaning nighttime, but also darkness. Light exposure, if you're healthy, will suppress your melatonin. Um, And so, yeah, reading your iPad late at night, that'll also suppress your melatonin, for example,
Mm-hmm,
uh,
mm-hmm.
and delay your sleep. So it's a hormone that we would say encodes darkness. When melatonin is high, it's signaling to the body that it's dark outside.
Mm-hmm. And is that true for both nocturnal and diurnal animals?
Yes, it is.
So
Yeah,
it's truly a darkness related molecule.
that's correct. Yeah. And so, it's been studied for many decades. It has a very beautiful circadian rhythm in most animals, except for laboratory mice. One reason we think that's the case in laboratory mice is melatonin is in many other animals, birds and mammals that have annual cycles.
Mm.
It's involved in determining how long the day length is. Um, and so we think that's one of its important functions in mammals. So in sheep, which are short day breeders, and in hamsters, which are long day breeders, where this has been experimentally tested, you can actually um, control whether their reproductive system is active by infusing melatonin in that have different nocturnal durations. So long melatonin means long night, short day. So that would be a positive signal for sheep and the opposite for a hamster. Um, and so those are beautiful experiments, very difficult to do, uh, that definitively show that the duration of melatonin encodes the opposite of photoperiod, the you know darkness period, and that can be used, that signal can be used to control reproductive status in animals that are seasonal breeders.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Now, mice are not, strong seasonal breeders, but I think because they were domesticated, the major selective force is breeding when you're trying to make a mouse strain
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
from the wild. And so my assumption is that melatonin was bred out of mice because it's generally inhibitory to reproductive function
Hmm.
in most mammals.
Melatonin, basically high melatonin is inhibitory reproductive function.
Well, it's encoding long versus short days.
Right. And if that is an important factor in the reproduction
That's
cycle
right.
of an animal. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But
So
anyway, for some reason, most laboratory strains of mice are deficient in melatonin.
yeah, wow, interesting. Okay, so then it's probably been understudied to some extent because
Mhm.
not in those animals. So you said this is a darkness molecule. It's
Mhm.
meaning it's going to go higher in the brain at night, whether you're awake or asleep, i.e., whether you're a nocturnal or diurnal animal. So, to what extent is melatonin driving sleep versus helping to set and synchronize the actual circadian rhythm? I've heard people say things like, "Well, it's not driving sleep per se or making you sleepy. It's more about setting your rhythm and people will often say things like, well, a melatonin supplement can be good for, say, jet lag when you need to shift your rhythm, but it's not necessarily going to help you fall or stay asleep. What can you tell us around that stuff?
Yeah, so melatonin really should not be thought of as a sedative,
Mm-hmm.
something that will make you sleepy, except at high doses, which are supraphysiological. Um, they will make you a little bit sleepy, depending on the individual. Um, and so uh, we would say the most effective, or what melatonin does best is to reset your clock. And it does that at low doses.
Hmm.
At very high doses, like 10 milligrams or something, it will make you sort of sleepy, but it's not a sleeping pill. And so it, I think it really shouldn't be used as a sleeping pill per se. It's more to keep your circadian rhythm regular. And the big problem in the United States is that melatonin is treated as a supplement.